Yo, what's up? Bill here from Classic Rock and Metal Review. Here to talk to you about what I believe is the greatest rock concert video ever made. It's Pink Floyd. It's live at Pompeii. We're going to get deep into it right now. So stick around if you can, guys. Let's check it out. Please hit a like, hit a subscribe, and if you're digging what's going on here, we're trying to do some deep discussions about some of our absolute favorites. Hit the notification bell. You'll get alerted as soon as the new stuff's up. So how does it happen that Pink Floyd come to do Live at Pompeii? So they're looking to do their first concert video in '71, and I guess word gets around that that's the case, and Scottish film director Adrian Maben happens to be a fan of the band's music in the first place, offers to do it. His original concept that was rejected. He wanted to just augment the band's concert footage with paintings, pictures, drawings, and it doesn't interest the band and they reject the idea. In the summer of '71, though, Maben goes on a vacation to Pompeii, and it dawns on him, seeing the empty Roman amphitheater, that this is where Pink Floyd need to do their first video, and they agree. So we get to early October of '71. Pink Floyd have to pay a fee to have the amphitheater sort of to themselves for almost a week. You got to remember, it's a tourist destination, but they do pay it and they do begin filming. I think it's October 4th, 1971. Some of the footage would also be recorded in December of '71 in Paris in a TV studio. And it's real easy to tell what's what when you're watching the video. But let's face it, the cream of the crop is seeing the band perform in that empty amphitheater. Of course, with the entire crew plainly in the shots, which is just great, and we'll discuss that a little bit too later on. So let's get into the set list that the band do. I mean, it's just awesome. I mean, first of all, you have the band playing about a fairly similar set list for about 2 years now. Songs are coming and going, but they do have a steadfast core of about 4 songs, and I think at least 3 of them are represented here, and you can tell these guys are just all about these songs at this point. They can do no wrong. So we start out with Echoes, Part 1. Of course, Metal's not even going to come out for another month. Of course, the film's not going to come out till next year anyway, so they're basically, going to have that released sort of simultaneously. Echoes Part 1, what a great way to start. And before you even get into Echoes, the video itself just starts with that heartbeat and just darkness for about a minute or a minute and a half. And then you get the synthesizer blending in there. It's a perfect build for what's coming. I mean, what's coming is just crazy, and it sounds sort of crazy when you just hear that lone heartbeat for that long. So typical of things Floyd and Roger Waters would do, solo later on in concert too. But Echoes, just fantastic. Rick and Dave sound magnificent. The whole band sounds just perfect here. You get some of the scenes from around Pompeii. It's just, I can't even say enough about how just like beautifully shot it is, and how intertwined the scenery just seems to naturally be with the music. It's just such a perfect marriage. So we get Echoes that has to end after roughly 10 minutes. It's only Part 1 here, and you're sort of disappointed when it chugs to an end, but then you get Careful With That Axe, Eugene, and all of a sudden within a minute you're forgetting all about the shortened Echoes. And it's funny now, I'm just thinking about the first time I watched it. I wasn't not even sure if I knew that there was going to be a Part 2 to Echoes, because I didn't have an actual tape of it. I just had a copy. So that was just extra cool at the end when Part 2 comes on, But Careful, Roger's sort of piece here, even though it's really just a couple of squeals and screams. It just seems like his song. And again, Maben does an awesome job here of just intertwining the band, just running through the mud flats and the lava slopes, interspersed with the band's footage. And I think there's a combination here, the TV footage and the Pompeii footage. And when Roger lets that scream loose, you know, they get the lava flowing. Like, what a just a perfect thing to do. And that little mosaic tile devil boy, whatever that is, again, just a winner, man, all the way around here. Next up, Saucer Full of Secrets, another just destroyer. This one, I guess, is sort of Roger's or Dave's version of what Roger just did on Careful. It's just this musical nut house masterpiece. Just Dave in the dirt, just playing with that slide. Mason going bonkers with that roll of his that just it seems to go on forever, and you know, you just want it to go on forever. It's just great. And then finally, Dave at the end when it mellows down, and Rick comes in with just the keyboard by itself, and everything comes back in, and Dave with that long greasy hair just being blown right across his face to where you can barely even recognize him. Just an iconic shot. I'm like so excited I don't even know what to say next. Then you get some of the Abbey Road studio footage, which is, you know, just great to me. This was always the version I preferred, the longer theatrical cut with the Abbey Road footage. You know, it seems it's such a stark contrast to the video. You would think it probably doesn't really flow, but I watched the original cut that doesn't have any of that Abbey Road footage, and to me it just doesn't seem like the same movie. You get to see Dave doing some of the lead work to Brain Damage, and you know, some riffs that didn't make the album, which is just great. I mean, I still, when I hear Brain Damage on the radio, hear those little riffs Dave's doing in my head, you know, that didn't even make the album. It's like almost like I know I've listened to Brain Damage 100 times more than I've watched Pompeii, but yet those leads are so good, I just feel like they should have been on there, I guess. You get to see Roger with the synthesizer to On the Run. That's what it sounds like he's doing, and it's really almost like 100 times crazier, but you can hear that same sort of sonic hum going on. Rick practicing Us and Them, working on Us and Them. Just, you know, great. Finally, back to the concert. You got One of These Days. This one is Mason's piece, of course. Strictly on Mason, I think, the camera in this section. Not as much with the surrounding shots, just mostly just of Nick, really. Then you get Mademoiselle Knobs, the little ditty from Metal that was called Seamus. They just renamed it after the dog that just happened to be there, named Knobs. Then you finish up with some more Abbey Road footage. Then Can You Have a Floyd Concert Without Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun? Another stalwart for the last couple of years in their set list, probably going back 3 years at this point. It sounds great, another awesome one. Again, the scenery just fits it so perfect. And then you end with Echoes Part 2. You know, like I said, you're sort of disappointed Echoes is split, but then you're happy, I guess you get it in two places. I can't make up my mind, I guess is what I'm saying. It's amazing. The whole video is amazing. That long pan out with just the wide shot of the Coliseum as they're finishing up that 88th note on the piano. Incredible stuff. That's all I gotta say. It's something that needs to be seen. It needs to be seen with someone else or alone, or someone else who's going to just be quiet and watch and listen, because it's just masterful. So let's talk about the different versions that got released. So originally, the original cut was in 1972. I believe it premiered at a film festival, or probably several of them. I think it might have even won an award. That was a 63 or so minute version of just the concert footage. 2 years later, now you got to remember it's 1974, so the band decided to release this theatrically, and because of the huge success of Dark Side in 73, they decided to add that Abbey Road footage of the recording of Dark Side of the Moon. You know, they get to just put that tag on the posters and such at this point, you know, announcing that you can see them working on Dark Side or what have you. So that is actually bringing it up to 84 minutes at that point. So they are the two original, well, the 72 and then the 74 release. Then in 2003, you finally get a DVD, and this contains the original 1972 63-minute version, just concert footage and TV studio footage, no Abbey Road practice. But there's a big but here. And director Adrian Maben is the one responsible for this butchery himself. He decides to replace quite a few scenes of the original theatrical cut with brand new, at the time, 2002 or 2003 computer graphics that just look horrible. I mean, they almost look dated. I bought this when it first came out and it looked bad then. So I don't know what he was thinking, but it really just destroys an otherwise perfect movie. It really does. Like, I can't even watch this. Although it is worth having because, hey, if you want to listen to it in great sound, the sound's unaffected, it sounds great. Or if you want to see the original 1972 63-minute version, that's on here too. I think there's some other directors interview and stuff like that. So worth having, of course, but a huge but with that. So let's get into some of the other tasty treats that I have laying around. This one I just got last year. This is a boot. This is a 2 DVD boot that contains the original 1972 version, 63 minutes, mono sound and all, on one CD or one DVD. The other DVD is the VHS version, the 84-minute 1974 version, as it was on videotape, as it was in 1974. So this is why I picked this up, obviously. Now, is it a true DVD? No. What they did was plucked a brand new copy of a Betamax from Japan, which apparently, for whatever technical reasons that are beyond me, is the clearest picture you can get. So that's what this company, and I don't even know what they are. I'm not going to try to, I'm not trying to sell anything here. I'm just trying to give you the history of that video. It's just, it looks like you're watching a Betamax VHS. So it looks good, it looks really good, but it's not going to look like DVD. But it is the cut I wanted, which was, either the 84 VHS release or the early 90s VHS release. They were both the same content. They were the 84-minute 1974 versions. So that's what the other DVD on here is, and that's why I bought this. So, because obviously you already have that original cut on here. How about audio quality? Well, the band took care of us on that one. I don't have the full early years box. I have the individual years. Here is the 72 set, and inside of it is a 2016 stereo remix of Live at Pompeii. You get the full set. The one thing they do a little different is Echoes is no longer in 2 parts. It is one long song at the end. And to boot, you get an alternate take of Careful with That Axe, Eugene. So, and let me tell, oh man, I listened to this the other day. I guess I listened to this when I first got it 5-6 years ago. Just listened to it again the other night. Incredible. It couldn't, I don't think it could sound any better. I mean, I'm sure 10 years from now it might, but it sounds amazing. It blows the DVD away. Let's put it that way. This is the way to go if you want to listen to Live at Pompeii. Just for nostalgia's sake, I think my buddy Sean got me this back about 15-20 years ago. This is a boot. This one, though, is kind of cool because you get the entire movie, the entire 74 movie on there. So just for when you know what's cool about it, when you rip it into iTunes, iTunes is playing on shuffle. And every now and then you get to hear a little Abbey Road footage, mixed in there. But not the way to go if you want to listen to the album or the soundtrack. That would be here. And one last little treat, guys. This is a cousin of the Laserdisc. The Laserdisc, a forerunner of DVDs back in the 70s and early 80s. And for all I know, they're still around. But this is a CED. I think I picked this up on eBay for about 10 bucks about 15 years ago, 10, 15 years ago. Just because it was just so, it's funny, it's like, it's sort of cheesy and sort of awesome at the same time. Back of it's kind of cool. Just as a sort of nostalgic piece. And there's a cool write-up in there actually too. And this is a company, RCA made these. So laser discs went in a lot of different players. These Selectavision CEDs they were called. I forget the capacitance electronic disc system. The disc is actually contained within this plastic here to protect it. That was the difference. Somehow when you inserted it into the machine was able to withdraw the disc. I don't even remember the details of it. So there's all your products, guys. Just one little thing. I paid for this. I paid 10 bucks for this back when I was 16 or 17 years old. I knew somebody that would burn you any 3 movies you wanted onto a videotape. And that was my gateway to Floyd, classic Floyd. Live at Pompeii. I'm surprised this tape is still, in one piece. But there you go, guys. Live at Pompeii. I think it's the best concert video of all time. So imaginative. The music's so awesome. I'm just a huge fan of the 69 to 72 Floyd era. And I think it was just perfectly encapsulated as far as music goes here. Never mind the scenes going on in the Pompeian, sights and sounds and all. Just can't say enough about it. If you haven't checked it out, you just have to. Just make sure you're ready for an experience. All right, guys, if you can, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe, notification bell, all that jazz. And we'll be getting into some more deep content again soon. All right, guys. Later.